who are building this amazing Blink standard together with the whole community. And yeah, he's here to share you a few insights and give you a few code examples so that you know what you can build. So without further ado, thank you so much for being here. Actually, he flew in here from Helsinki, so give him a warm round of applause, please.
Thanks. Yeah. Hey, everyone. I'm Nick. I'm head of engineering at Dialect. And at Dialect, we are currently building Blinks, all the dev tooling around Blinks. And we are one of the stakeholders of the Solana action specification. If you don't know it, I'll tell you what is it right now. And I'll share what is Blink is. So yeah, if you don't know anything, it's OK. So actions and Blinks. You might have heard of Blinks, but in the reality, there is two things, actions and Blinks. And both of them are live together. And Blinks cannot live without actions. So first of all, what is Blink? Blink is a front end for your end users, which can be integrated on any website. Currently, there's only X integration or Twitter, but we are planning to integrate it like to most major consumer apps like Twitch, LinkedIn, Discord, Reddit, and others. And it's possible. And I'll share some, just for you to understand, it's integrated directly in the website. So it's pretty native. If you browse Twitter and you have like a Blink extension installed, then you could see this native amazing stuff directly in your Twitter. And you can take an action. You can execute a blockchain transaction there. So you can, for example, vote in the DAO for some proposal or something like this, or shill your favorite meme coin and buy and sell it. And yeah, there is a lot of use cases on our website. If you want to get some kind of inspiration, visit dial.to. There is a ton of use cases. And yeah, everything possible, as I mentioned, because of the native integration in the wallets. So wallets act as like your Chrome extension that will render a Blink on third-party websites. And yeah, it's currently integrated in most major wallets like Backpack, Phantom, Soulflare, OKX, and others. And yeah, if you want to contribute or bring like the integration to any other website except Twitter, here's our GitHub. So feel free to. And yeah, we have our own extension. You can download it with this short link. And it's more for developers. It has like the most bleeding edge features, which I will share today, which not yet available in the wallets. And also, coming soon, the Blinks on mobile. If you like have mobile application and if it's in the React Native, you can use our SDK to bring Blink experience directly in your mobile app. So now, what is actions? Action is a backend, and it works according to the specification called Solana action. And it's actually like a simple JSON structure with a defined set of fields like icon, label, title, description, and a set of buttons that you can press on a Blink. And yeah, since it's a specification, Blinks know how to render it. And yeah, just this demonstration how the mapping works. So there is JSON on the left side and the Blink on the right side. And yeah, Blink know that will be an action field in the JSON from the action. And yeah, it can render it. It knows there is like a title, description, and others predefined set of fields, which it can use to render itself. Yeah. And of course, it works together with some flow, which is pretty simple. When user sees a link on any website, let's say Twitter or any other, the Chrome extension tries to detect if this link is an action. And if it's an action, it will call like it will send a GET request to an action server. And action server will return this metadata with image, title, description, and other fields. And yeah, since it's specification, Blink will render it. Then user can click a button or like enter some text in the input field, and Then the post request will be sent to the action, and the post request is supposed like to request a transaction to sign for a user. So like action provider creates, compose a transaction for Solana or any other blockchain actually. Yeah, Blinks are chain agnostic. So yeah, and it returns a post, in the post response, like it returns a serialized transaction, and user can sign it like in the wallet. So and yeah, you don't actually need like to do any integration with the wallets, use a wallet adapter or anything. Yeah, you just need to compose the transaction, serialize it in base64, and return it to user. Yeah, and after this, when user decides to approve the transaction, it will get submitted to the cluster, and yeah, that's it. Pretty simple, straightforward flow. And this is how it's supported in the Blink. So the first screen is like initial state of the Blink, and then when there is some asynchronous operation happens behind, the Blink will show the loading state, and of course some termination status. If the transaction completed, it will show the green check mark with your custom text, or if transaction failed, it will show the like error and some like human readable message, which you can also customize. And so Blink is actually like also a blockchain link. And the link should have some kind of representation, right? And there is 3 ways how the blockchain links could look like. So the first one is Solana-action and the URL, the your action API. It's more like a, it's really not human readable representation, not like human native. And if you don't have a Blink supported client, you cannot do anything with it. And of course, like since it's not a typical link, it wouldn't look great on like in Twitter. If you share this in Twitter, it wouldn't have a link preview, and even it wouldn't be clickable. So it's more like for machine-to-machine communication, or in future it could be used for mobile blinks. Like you can encode this URL in the QR code, and you scan it, and like wallet will use it to render Blink. Yeah. The second way to represent your action in the internet is if you have your own product already, like your website, let's say alice.com, and you have some kind of like a web page /donate/public key, you can just make the shareable experience for your website better. And you can configure actions.json file in the root of your website, and it will act like as a router. So it will help the wallet to determine that this particular URL, alice.com/donate/public key, is actually an action. And there's like a simple set of rules how to map your website URL to your action API with like get and post requests for wallet to render. Yeah, it's useful if you have your own website, which like people already share, and if you have link preview, you can just make it better. And the third way is to use, we call it interstitial website. If you, let's say, do not have your own product yet, if you want to test hypotheses real quick, or like develop Blink without any front-end work, it's the perfect for you. You can go to dial.to, and there is like an input field, and you can paste your API URL, and it will render it. And moreover, you could use this URL to share everywhere in the Twitter or any other website. And if users has like a Blink compatible extension, like Phantom Wallet, for example, it will render a Blink. But if users doesn't have this, then it will render a normal link preview URL. And if, let's say, users click it, then they will be able to take an action if they go to this website. So pretty cool if you want to just like create something real quick without UI development, and yeah, if you don't have your own product yet. And yeah, I'll just show the quick start how to create your own Blink. I'll use the Honor. It's like modern Express alternative, and I'll use Cloudflare workers for this because it's free to deploy and it's fast and yeah, just very cool developer experience. And of course, I'll use our dial.to website to debug it and yeah, and render and get a shareable link. And for this, I prepared a special template so you can get started in one single line. We'll share it. It's a bit long, but yeah, you get the whole project from scratch, ready to run in dev mode and ready to deploy. Yeah, I think now I'll go to VS Code. I guess I need two hands, so I'll try to speak louder. Yeah. So I'll use the command that I shared. I think we'll send it in the chat or something. And first it will ask the name for my application. I called like my action or something. And it will create like a folder, which is typical for any Node.js application with node modules and stuff like this. I'll just say no, we won't deploy right now. I'll show it later. And there is index.ts file in the src folder, which we can open. And I'll skip some technical details. You can just omit it and use it as is. Don't need to dig into details, but basically it configures some course headers for security reasons to make your Blink accessible from any other website. So, yeah. Yep. Right. So yeah, and as I said, there is like a two endpoints you should have in your action. It's a get endpoint, which will return a metadata for a Blink. You see, it's like a title, description, icon, and label. It could have a few more fields. I will show it later. But yeah, I think it's pretty self-describing. So, yeah. And we have a post request, which will compose the transaction. It's like your own business logic, how you want to create the transaction for Solana. Yeah, and now I'm just going to run it. Yeah, and it runs on my local host, so I can just use this link and yeah. First, I'll show that it's just a simple REST API. This is the same JSON that I just showed. And I can just use this link, go to dial.to website, and enter it in the input field, and it will render it there. Yeah, this is better. So, and it renders it according to the response from the action server. So now, just to demonstrate how it's convenient to use for development, I'm going to, let's say, modify some title, send me some sol, like demo for workshop, and description, the simple action made for workshop on a live stream. I'll save it. It will automatically reload the source code, and I'll just refresh the page, and yeah, it's changed here. Cool. And yeah, now I'll show the post request. So when users click this button, it will send a post request to your action server, and your action server is supposed to compose a transaction for user to sign. And in my case, it's just a simple transfer sol transaction. So it will actually transfer some sol from user to my account. You can change it to your own, for example, if you want to create a donation Blink for yourself, or something like this. And it will use lamports. Currently, it's hard-coded value, so 0.1 sol. And thanks, Leo, he already explained what lamports is. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you have the context now. And yeah, and then it just get the block hash and prepares transaction to sign. And then we just serialize this transaction, and it will return back to user in the JSON format. So if I hit this button, it will prompt, wallet will just prompt me to sign it. Yeah, it just blocks because it's probably DevNet or something. But yeah, it will encures my transaction like transfer sol to my account 0.1. So yeah, and it could be any other transaction. For example, like a mint NFT, vote for DAO, or like anything else. So it's pretty abstracted from what it's going to do. You just have to compose transaction, and that's it. And I want just to show a few more features of Blinks. That is not just a one button. It's actually you can build a very complex forms with this. For example, there is a links field in the JSON, and there's links actions, then it's array, and actions is like we call it actions for some reason, but in reality it's just the buttons. And yeah, every button should have like a path to your post endpoint. So in my case, it could be, let's say, slash, and it uses some simple template syntax. I'll call it amount. Oh, I'll actually just to hard code it to, let's say, 0.1. And label is a title of my button. Let's say a tip 0.1 sol. And if I refresh it now, yeah, nothing changed because it's the same button. I'll just add one more. Let's say 0.5 sol. And yeah, now it's two buttons. And plus, I already mentioned there is supported a simple template syntax. So for example, I can do it like this, slash curly brackets and the name of variable amount, then label tip any amount, and I can specify parameters it could have. And the parameters is just like your input field, and it supports multiple types. Like you see, you can create checkbox or date input, email, number, select, text area, URL. So like really, you can build very complex forms with this. I'll use type number, and it supports validation. So for example, I can specify minimum, let's say 0001, and maximum is, let's say, 1 sol. And I need to give it a name. It's like the name of my parameter, so it should match this variable, and it will substitute the value which will user enter to this like path template string. And yeah, I refresh, and there is like this input field with type number, so I cannot enter any random text here, but I can enter numbers, for example, 001, and 1 is the maximum, so I cannot enter 2, it will show error, and some hint for users that like number should be between something and something. And I'll change my post request as well to accept like a parameter here. So it should be like, I'll call it amount, and for example, const amount equal, it will just like extract this amount variable from my path. And I can just console log just to see. So now if I press any button, or let's say I enter some value, let's say 0.66, it sends post request to my backend, and yeah, it will log the amount 0.66. So now I will just use this variable to compose transaction. I need obviously to convert it from string to float, and I'll pass it to prepare transaction. And prepare transaction will accept amount, which is number type. And it should be amount multiplied by 1 billion, because one Lampert is one soul. So we should convert like human readable amount representation to Lamperts. So yeah, it's 1 billion. Nice. I'll refresh the page. I'll enter, say, 0.66, fire transaction. And yeah, in instructions, there is like 0.66 sol want to transfer to my wallet. Yeah. And like assuming you built your own action, what the next steps? The next steps, you obviously want to deploy it so you could share it with everyone on the internet. And with this template, it's super quick to do. You can just run npm run deploy. I'll deploy it to my personal account. It takes a bit of time. So yeah, and I get a like public URL myaction.nzt.workers.dev. I can open it in the browser. Yeah, and it's my deployed action. So I can now use this URL just to check it on dial.to. Submit it. Yeah, it works. And you might have noticed there is like this yellow warning say that this action is not registered yet. You can use it only if you trust the source, and this action will not unfurl on X. So what it means, in favor of the ecosystem, we introduced like a security register for actions. So we understand that it's completely new use case for everyone. And in social network, people like less attentive than like when they visit Web3 websites or whatever. And we decided to allow currently only to render actions that we trust, so that are registered in our security registry. But it's like nowadays, it's very easy to get in. You just need to go to dial.to/register and fill a form. Yeah, fill just simple form, like provide your contact information so we could contact you in case of anything, and give us your action API URL and Blink URL. And yeah, I think like nowadays it's maybe within 24 hours or less, we'll review your action and it will be renderable on Twitter. And you could use like, yeah, just in case this dial.to by default opens your action in the dev mode. So it will also do some kind of validation for you to make sure your action is like aligned with the specification. But there is also a public page available for like non-devs, yeah, which you can just use, copy here. And this is, yeah, I guess it's not visible, but it looks exactly like I shared previously. It's dial.to/action, then question mark action, and like the encoded URL to my action API. Yeah. I think I'm not going to go through registration process right now, but yeah, it's very simple. And also, we have a Discord. In Discord, you can create a ticket, ask for any support. So yeah. There's a few more things I want to share. Um, just some new features we just built recently. Some of them we built 2 weeks ago, and one of the features we just finished working on yesterday. So it's not yet even available in the wallets, but it's available on our website, so you can use it for development and like prepare for the launch. And yeah, so new features, it's new input types, like I shared with validation, as like any inputs like URL, email, and others. Plus, we introduced action chaining. So it's not only one action right now, but you can use multiple actions and sign like multiple transactions sequentially by like, I think it opens completely new set of use cases. And feature we just finished working on yesterday called dynamic data, or maybe live data, we are not sure yet, but it allows you to update your Blink in real time. And message signing is coming soon, but basically it will allow you to interact with your off-chain API through the Blink. Because currently in the Blink, you can take only on-chain action by signing transaction, but message signing will open completely new set of possibilities. Yeah. Advanced input types. So you can have like a checkbox or like URL, email, select. So yeah, whatever. You can build very complex forms like to order some e-commerce stuff or whatever. Action chaining. Yeah. So you can chain multiple actions together. Let's say you can ask user to select something first, then select something again, and mint an NFT, which will like result of user previous actions. Or for example, you can, let's say if you have your governance token, for example, like Jupiter, you can allow users to buy your token and then vote in your DAO. Yeah. And the next one, it's actually a video because it's supposed to be dynamic. And we prepared a video. Yeah, you can make your Blink updatable in the real time. I'll just show it one more time. Yeah. You can specify like how often you want your Blink to be updated. Let's say, if I remember correctly, currently it's like minimum every second or something. But yeah, it's still pretty enough for a lot of use cases. And I believe it could open like completely new set of use cases around referrals and new engagement in Twitter, and like open more shareable experience so user could see the data changing dynamically. They could see like, let's say for it's a referral Blink, users could reshare it, see how many other people earn through this Blink and share their own, which is really cool. And message signing, yeah, I think it's especially could be very useful for stuff that you cannot purchase on chain directly. So you can create your form with new advanced input types feature and call off-chain API using this feature. But yeah, it's not available yet. It's currently in the specification proposal, but I hope like on this week we'll get everything accepted, and in a few weeks it will be available in every wallet. Yeah, all useful links. So docs.dialect.to, it's our documentation. You can find everything you need to get started here. Our GitHub, if you want to contribute, feel free. Everything is open source, all SDKs. Yeah. And our Twitter, say dialect. All new announcements, everything hops here. So yeah. That's it. And some meme with Blink. Don't blink, guys. Yep. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks so much for this amazing presentation. The last video was super incredible to see because, yeah, I know how it is to play around with those images and then seeing those updating. Totally new use case set, also with the message signing. Thanks so much for sharing the alpha. I hope you all enjoyed the presentation. I would now give it up for the floor to ask questions. There was one question before, and before I forget, I wanted to ask this question for you. I think it's a fast one. there was Antonia asking, how soon will we be able to pay by Blinks at a marketplace?
Can you read it again? To pay what? I didn't get.
Yeah, so how soon will we be able to pay with Blinks in a marketplace?
Okay. It actually depends on what marketplace, because, for example, in NFT marketplaces, you can pay already with Blinks. Tensor has a native integration, so I think I can even show it now. If I open tensor.trade, get, let's say, this medlet, and just copy this URL. I'll just see, yeah, my our extension is enabled, so I think I can just post it like buy this NFT collection. Yeah, it will render a link preview here, but when I post, it should, yeah, it gets converted to the Blink. And yeah, you can pay in Tensor Marketplace. I guess it counts, right? But I believe the question was more for non-crypto marketplaces, I think. But yeah, just in case, you can already buy a Keystone, which is a hardware wallet with a Blink. They also has native integration. Yeah, but with non-crypto marketplaces, I don't know yet. I believe message signing could open a different set of possibilities, and we're also like in very close collaboration with Sphere, which like a payments provider on Solana. So you'll see.
Nice, thanks so much. Any more questions? Yes.
That's really simple and basic. Is anybody working on a Firefox extension?
It's a good question. Not yet. Because most of the wallets like were mostly interested in the Chrome. I believe their consumer base not very big on the Firefox, and I think there's other engines too, right? But yeah, as I said, it's open source. If you want, feel free. I believe it should be very simple to adopt it for Firefox, because the Blink code is completely independent. It just injects like HTML element to the web page. So I think it's just the question to to prepare this like manifest stuff and publish it in the Firefox Chrome extension, Firefox extension marketplace. So yeah, should be pretty easy. Just not the highest priority right now. Yeah. If you want, please feel free. GitHub. Yeah, I'll quickly show our GitHub. And the repository called Blink's Chrome extension. Yeah, it's open source. So yeah, feel free to submit pull request.
Why do you focus only on message signing and transactions? Especially when I see the context of those chained actions, wouldn't it make sense for certain use cases to just have a server interaction in between? For example, just saving your user profile to the database, and then in the next step, do your purchase, for example. I would think that if we have those Blink extensions already out there, I think there are use cases out there that would use Blinks, maybe not for transactions, but just for normal transactions, because it's in the Twitter feed, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe we will do it 100%, because like it's the most typical of chain action you could take. The first step is send message, because it says like some kind of security layer, right? You can identify the wallet, and basically you can you can do the same, but with side message plus it will add some data from the input fields. So you would be able to achieve what you asked. But yeah, in future we will definitely add like first of all the chaining without signing anything at all. So you can just change the actions and get some kind of state in the URL, and then submit everything in one like API call. So yeah, 100%. Plus we plan to add external links to the button, so you could like redirect people to your website or like some other click to action stuff. So yeah, and actually, yeah, as I mentioned, it's specification. So it's open on forum.solana.com. There is SRFCs and all like actions, specification developments public here. If you have any ideas or wants to, let's say, affect something that is currently in discussion here, feel free to come, drop your comment. And yeah, as you see, it's sign message currently in the active discussion. Also the external linking and optional transactions. So yeah, if you're aware of some use cases that not covered yet, please come on forum.solana.com, share your opinion.
Any more questions? All right. Well, then I say thanks so much, Nick. This was not just this audience here enjoying you. There were also 480 people online watching you. So current
That's a
record. So yeah, you're famous. Please give him a warm round of applause. Thanks so much, Nick, also for being here.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks.